GM Farcaster and CastOut fans. All right, I'm going with it. Happy Pizza Day, by the way. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Pizza Day.
I'm wearing my Global Pizza Party shirt from last year, and it's blue. It looks like sky blue. So my green screen is like doing funky things with it. But
it looks like it kind of looks like tie-dye. I like it. And I lost your volume. Cool. It's probably on my end because it was having issues. We're gonna do. Hold on. You talk. I'll be back.
Yep, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? It was me.
Yeah, I could hear you. I can hear you now. Okay. So right before we went on, I had headphone issues. Right before we went on, I had headphone issues. So obviously I assumed it was my headphone issues. I'm looking around for like a second pair.
So funny. You guys can hear me now though. Okay. We're having it's been a long week. It's been a long 2 weeks. Bear with us. Yeah. So she was having issues right at the beginning. So I thought it was her, but that time it was me. So anyway, let's dive in. We're going to keep this short because they got things to do. We still have one last challenge, which I sprung today. So let's dive into what happened yesterday. But before we do that, I want to thank all our sponsors as we come to the end. Rachel, I still need to send you your little noun from the confessionals, fan favorite. In other words, fan being me and Adrian favorite. So I need to do that. I will get that done in just a little bit. I've sent out the tribe prizes, except for one. I'll talk about that in a second. So Lil Nouns, thank you so much for sponsoring. And I do have a few more Lil Islands that are going to be shared shortly, sent out in a little bit. Also Octant, thank you, Octant. And there's so much going on with Octant. Hey, you might be able to get one, Melissa. Let's see. Let's see what happens today. So thank you, Octant. And we have a lot going on with Octant. We'll talk more about them tomorrow. The round right now that's happening with Purple and Octant. So if you're building anything on Farcaster, go check that out in the Octant channel. Purple DAO. Thank you, Purple. You're amazing, even though you got voted out. Sorry about that. Love you anyway. And then DGen, our reward sponsor, who's been amazing. Stop ruining things, Discovery Caster. We'll see what happens today. I'm going to explain in just a moment. And of course, all brought to you by the crazy people at GM Farcaster, and the crazy people being me. And Adrian's not so crazy, but this part's mostly me. She's crazy doing other things. Like, by the way,
everyone has their own flavor.
Checked out our app? Have you checked out our mini app?
Everyone has their own flavor of crazy.
Yes, my flavor of crazy is creating competition shows and talk shows and other game shows. Just because I want to be Merv Griffin, apparently, and nobody knows who that is.
Bob Barker?
No, Merv Griffin was the one who produced a ton of game shows and had a talk show.
I'm just
so that's why I was going with that.
Pretend I knew a name from old
school. Bob
Barker
Barker's just a host. He was just the Price is Right host. Merv Griffin was the one behind the scenes, the mogul behind the scenes. Anyway, okay. So then we had 2 days ago, we had the amazing POAP race. We got down to 2 tribes, and it was Cast Me Outside and Good News. And then they played a little bit. Let me move this one. They played a game yesterday. So we had 2 things going on. We had a Farcade 24-hour tournament. Anyone could play. I'm waiting I got to confirm the results with the Farcade crew and get those prizes out. So you could play Hyperheat, Geocache, Geocrush, or Far Downs and compete in a tournament. Anyone could. And then the 2 tribes were doing a challenge on 5 different games. And the way this worked was one tribe had to choose somebody on the other tribe to challenge in a particular game. So there was a little bit of strategy involved of figuring out which game, who was gonna play, and who you wanted to challenge. So when it was funny because Good News and Cast Me Outside paired up for the amazing POAP race, and as it's all going down, I'm thinking in my head, Good News might regret this. Because exactly. Cast Me Outside are gaming kill us. Yes, they are. So I was like, "Okay, how are you?"
No, it was gonna be a gaming challenge.
Yeah, I knew, but they didn't know, right? Nobody knew but me what the final challenge was gonna be, but I kept thinking, "Oof, they probably had a better shot against anybody but them." So, I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna crush them." But you know what? They started off pretty well, so they did crush them. But there was some hope there for a while. So they made a smart move. They made a very smart move, and they neutralized the killer of all killers, JC, who is like, you will find her at the top of many leaderboards in Farcade. So they had Amelie was surprisingly really good at downhill skiing, the downhill skiing game. She challenged JC. JC did lose. So Good News started off at the top. They were crushing it. They had a win under their belt, and they neutralized JC, who I think in any other game probably would have killed it. So this is probably the only kryptonite, as she called it. So it was a good move, very good strategy. Then we had Breadcat and Warpcost, and Warpcost did win on this one. And this was, I forget which game this was. Whoops, let me go back for a second so I can remember. It was Far Nouns. Far Nouns on that one. And then Geocrush was the next one. And Cast Me Outside also won that by quite a bit. Plants did pretty well there. And then you had Tracy and Jessie Fries, and she won hers. This was in Hyperheat, I believe. No, was it Hyperheat? Hold on. I got to keep going back to see. No, Nightmare Blocks, which is the worst game, and nobody's good at that. So it is horrible. And they did pretty well though. And of course, they had another win. Tracy managed to take that one. And that was it. So we didn't even have to go to the final game. So Rachel didn't have to take on Burr in Hyperheat. So there you go. And so Cast Me Outside was the winner, the tribe winner. And what that means is they won each 0.5 ETH. So those have been distributed except for one, just waiting to confirm wallet. So congratulations to Cast Me Outside. You guys killed it. You played really well. And not only did you play, like I knew you guys would be really good at challenges, you played a really good social game. So when you think about a game like this, like Survivor, like Big Brother, like any of these games, Traders, all these different games, when you think about these, there's always multiple aspects to them. And one of them is this social game of like, how can you make alliances that get you further in the game or that get you to the end? Who do you align with? When do you break those alliances? All those things. And I feel like they managed that incredibly well, as did Good News. That's why they were there in the end. They both had really, really strong social games where others didn't play that part as well, even when they, like Lil Sock Gang, killed challenges, but that puts a massive target on your back. And if you haven't created alliances, eventually they're gonna take you out. So really amazing gameplay. So now we still have 0.5 ETH in this prize pool to distribute. Normally what we've done in the past is it's come down to a final individual challenge. So for the first season, it was very much like Survivor, and we had the jury vote on the final winner. The second time I did it a little different because I wanted the tribe part of the game to play longer. So the final challenge for the tribes, the individual tribe challenge, so when the individual players from the final tribe played against each other, they did essentially the amazing POAP race. So that's what we did last time. So this time I wanted to switch it up a little bit. And we're going to dive into a little new meta of, well, a new game that's been popular, competition game, and that is Traders. So we are switching over to Traders. And this is my little round table that I spent way too much freaking time creating this. But really enjoyed it.
Worth it.
Totally worth it. This was me at like 11 last night going,
Someone
way too much time on this.
Quick, coin it. Screenshot it and coin it.
No, I'll get sued for copyright infringement. I don't want that. I don't want that Scottish lad coming after me. So what's going to happen now for this next phase to determine who gets this remaining 0.5 ETH is at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to drop a note to each one of them individually who are on the tribe. So that's Burr, JC, Tracy, Warp Cost, and Plants. And I'm going to tell them they are either the trader or the faithful. So this is how this game works. At the beginning of Traders, the host walks around and picks a couple of people to be the traders, and then they go through a series of games. We're going to skip some of the challenges, and we're going to skip right to the round table. The round table is when you try to figure out who the trader is and try to get them out of the game. So you've arrived at the castle in Scotland, and one of you will be secretly selected as the trader. There will be no challenge and no shield, but there will be a vote, an opportunity for us to out an opportunity for you to out who the trader is at the round table. So you'll be able to ask questions in your tribe chat. You can't ask, "Are you the trader?" Of course. And you can't, but you can ask other questions to try and determine who the trader is. I'll also drop some hints here and there. The trader cannot tell you on the side. They can't like go make a deal with you. Like, "Oh, I am the trader. Just vote for somebody else and you'll get half," or whatever. None of that. If that happens and I find out, then we'll just roll over the 0.5 ETH to the next season. And by 6 p.m., you're going to get a vote. I'm going to give you a place to vote using Deform or Megaphone or whatever they're calling it now. And you'll vote for the player that you believe is the trader. If the majority vote for the correct trader, then those who voted correctly will split 0.5 ETH. If the vote fails to get the majority, then the trader, if they've convinced you they are not the trader, will win all 0.5 ETH. What you decide to do with that after that is up to you. But that is what's going to happen. So we'll be doing this within their group chat. I'll have more details in there for you all, and then we'll announce tomorrow what happened and who the trader was. And the trader, regardless, will get a lil noun. So there you go. Regardless of whether they get to the end or they get found out, they will still earn a little island for themselves for being the trader and having to suffer through. So there you go. So that's how we're going to crown one winner. There may be one winner. There may be 4. Or there might be 3. So how do you crown one winner? There may not be one. If the trader managed to convince you they are not the trader, then they are the one sole winner. If not, there might be 3 or 4 winners, depending on how many people voted for the correct trader. So we'll see how it all goes down. Lots of different ways to go here. Oh no, I'm so bad at lying. Don't make me the trader. The trader has already been determined, and I can't tell you who it is, but I will tell you whether or not you are the trader or the faithful in just a little bit. By around 1 p.m. I'm going to tell you, and then we'll launch the official challenge until 6 p.m. You'll have time to ask questions throughout the day. So there you go. So my little twist, we're going to play around with it, see how it goes. Yeah, you could be the trader right now, Burr, and you don't even know it. There you go. Oops. Ask Costco. I can't lie without laughing. Oh, this should get interesting later today then, since you two live with each other. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So that is the new twist. It was funny because JC Sparks asked me before the season started, or she mentioned, I think, at some point, you should incorporate traders. And I had already had it in my mind that this was going to be the final challenge, but I am like, yeah, that's an interesting idea. And I just left it at that. I didn't say yes or no, but yeah. We could jump into voice chat as well. Yeah, if you guys are available, we can all jump in too. You can ask me questions as well. I may or may not answer them, depends on what they are, but I will do my best. And yeah, we could jump into a poker game even. Could jump into a little poker voice chat. There you go. All right, so we're almost to the end. Congratulations, Cast Me Outside. The tribe version of this was so fun. I am going to be asking for feedback from all the players. Let me get to the end of this. So tomorrow I'll probably send something out to you. I really want to get the, ooh, that's a good question, but I'm also not going to answer that. But it is a good question. What's the FID of the trader? 20, just kidding. That was one of the POAP questions. Who is FID 20 was one of the questions. So it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. We're going to be iterating on this. I'm hoping to launch this again September, October. We got to figure out, there's a couple things happening in September that I have to work around. So might be early October instead. Because we don't know when base camp is. I have no idea. And you're going away and there's just a lot happening. But I am talking with a few people about how we can make this bigger and better, but also keeping the same vibe. Like I want to keep it fun and the same vibe. But thank you for those who played, because you guys are just amazing. And I am always stunned at how hard people play this game. Like they go hard.
Yeah.
It's always surprising, and in the best way. I mean that in the best way. Like it's just so fun to see when you like come up with a crazy idea and people actually are enjoying it. It makes me very, very happy. So yeah, week 8.
Have we gotten over week 8? I think
I they're over it, I think, but I don't know. Sockgate. And that's the other thing is you're building memories, you're building lore. There's all these little things that now you guys all share in common, and it's kind of a fun little thing to take with you along the way. So yeah, Adrian, here we are. We're at the end.
This is it. I literally don't even know how you play this game virtually without being able to ask if someone's a trader or talk about that like directly. So
it's going to be interesting.
I'm glad I'm not playing. I would have no idea how to play. I don't get it.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. They're going to have to ask different questions and we'll see how it works. We could jump into a voice chat. I'd be open to that. If you guys want me to set up a little poker now table, I could do that as well. Don't know if everybody's available. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So again, I'm going to drop some little hints along the way too. If you know me, chances are my hints are going to be in one of two places, either on chain or on Farcaster. So you'll have to be on the lookout. And there you go. I've slept. Poor Burr. Burr's been not well, but she slept 30 of the last 36 hours, so she's ready today. There we go. So there you go. She's ready for it. All right. Yeah, I'll be a little more subtle with my hints. That's not exactly a hint, Brock. It's not what you call a hint. I'm a little more subtle than that. All right. Anything else? Any other questions in the chat before we call it? Not JC confirmed. I'm glad Brock's not playing today. I'm probably gonna have more questions from him than I am the people who are still playing.
Can you ask if someone is a trader, like a meme coin? Can you say, "Are you a meme coin trader?"
Sure, you can ask that. It won't help you whatsoever.
Are you a Wall Street trader?
And Brock, yes, actually, players can play again. There's no limitation on that. Sometimes they don't.
Why would you want to after the trauma?
Like some of them don't want to ever again. Some of them have said, "I'll come back when it's an all-star season." Things like that. But yeah. Base games are returning. Okay, let us know when and what, and we'll be happy to promote that. That is similar to Beast Games that Burr was putting together that looked really fun. I kind of came in like they had already started. So I missed, like I was just kind of watching, but I definitely want to play and I would be happy to promote that as well. I love all the games. I firmly believe that that is like the way to building community. And you can just see that in general, like games, gaming, sports, like those kinds of communal things are what help build communities. So I'm in. And good news is in too. Good news is playing base games. There you go. You got more people for your base games already. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Games build friendship. Exactly. Poker, same thing. You built whole communities around poker. I mean, to me, this is the way. So we're going to keep building it. The other thing we're going to build, and that'll be coming soon, I am working the trader. Yeah, she's definitely a trader. That's for sure, with a D. We're going to be working with the Farcaster trivia team, the FC trivia team. We're working on getting some sponsors together, and we're going to start doing a regular game on Wednesdays at noon. I think we'll have that ready to go in June. So you may see me like shilling for votes somewhere in some DAO trying to get some sponsors. So look for that. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure exactly what, but coming soon. Coming soon to a DAO near you. Proposal from
Doesn't
me.
have to be DAO. It doesn't have to be a DAO, right?
Yeah,
So
it absolutely doesn't. Just my I probably will take it to purple just for the first one. And then we'll be looking for sponsors from anywhere. Like anyone who wants to sponsor. I want to try to get one in place so that it makes sense for us to move forward with a little initial trial run. And then we'll bring other sponsors in. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
awesome.
All right. Yes, that would be lovely. But so we should make it so it self-funds. So if you're talking about CastOut, I'll talk to you about that later. If you're talking about FC Trivia, that was why they had like the little buy-in. But what we want to do is get a sponsor that can cover a certain amount. So there would be a certain amount of people who could play for free. And just to make sure we have a lot of people that are able to play, we want to make sure we don't like lose the interest there. All right. Idea number one, Plants is the trader. Or his cat is. Could be the cat. All the things. Yeah. Self-fund everything is ideal. Yep. That's kind of the idea behind the sponsorship. Is part of the sponsorship will be at least one question in the game. And you know what we found when we did that with this past one during CastOut? People did research. When you said, hey, there's going to be a question about all these sponsors in here, people did research and looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's a good selling point for a sponsor because you know you're getting them ahead of time as well as during the game and then after. So it's like a really good hit there. So we're definitely going to tap into that for sure.
It's a way better selling point than what other people do, which is just lie and inflate your stats.
Exactly.
I saw Naomi's cast yesterday.
Oh, I did. I'll have to go look at that. No. That's not good. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not good at all. Yeah. So we like to incorporate our partners into what we're doing. So putting sponsors in as questions for Farcaster Trivia, for example, talking about casts that they're posting. Like that's to me a much more authentic way to incorporate them than pausing for, a 60-second ad read in the middle of the show. So as long as possible, we'll continue down that path to make it better for the audience as well as better for the sponsor. So anyway, all right, guys, this has been fun chat. From Costco in the chat. That's Warp Cost for those who don't know. Confirm Burr is the worst liar in the history of lying. So again, you don't know if she is the traitor. This might go very quickly for you all, because apparently she's very bad at lying. So that's pretty funny.
Or there's some collusion going on.
I saw that. I This is funny. I sent my chat a cheat sheet on the sponsors. Yeah, a couple people did. That's what I mean. Like people were doing research for the trivia. So it was a new, like, that's a new unlock for a sponsor to be like, people were looking you up and sharing the information with other people. So I think that's actually a really big benefit. All right. Thank you, Sparks. I appreciate that too. Yeah, I appreciate you both, the sponsors and the players. It was such a fun season. Yes, and a big shout out again to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate you. That was, again, Lil Nouns, Octant, Purple, and DGen. And yeah, we're excited to bring it back. All right. You guys are very chatty today, and I kind of love it. I really love it. Exactly. When you're doing games, sponsors need to find value, and there's tons of ways to spotlight them. When you're doing games and things, it's much easier to integrate than just straight up media. There's a lot of fun ways you can integrate them. So I agree. And I watched Melissa do that too. She's very good about promoting sponsors. When I've just sponsored, like when I was sponsoring Burr Friends with like 10,000 DGen or something, she was great about promoting and getting the word out there. And when we've done poker and we've had a sponsorship, we've had them right on the felt. So you'd see it on the screen the whole time while you're playing. So lots of ways to like.
We can do product placement.
I can do product placement.
GM Farcaster brought to you by Cameron's keychains.
Cameron.
You know he's selling them? Go to his profile. You can buy these now. And how cute are they?
They're adorable.
Cameron, send me my 5%. Thank you.
I have to get mine here. I would just love to. I'm like, oh, I haven't put them close enough.
Tomorrow's Farcaster Friday, by the way.
Okay, so I need to grab. Oh, no, it's not. You just made me nervous. No, it's not.
It's literally the day when Warpcast rebrands to Farcaster.
Well, that's not the same as Farcaster Friday.
It is now.
I'll have to get my. I have to get my. My little thing so that when you can pass it across me to the screen, and I'll have to bring mine. That would be funny, but I don't have it handy. All right, guys, we've
gone the wrong way.
Yeah, I'll have to go. Ready? Yeah, I know, but I don't have mine. Oops, I got to do it this way. Yeah, but I don't have mine. I need it like here. All right, we've gone over the deep end. All right, everyone, that was funny. That's Mike Rainbow's dream. If it's called Farcaster, Mike Rainbow's dream. Yeah, get yourself a keychain. Go look at Cameron's profile at Cameron, and you can see how to order your own little arches, and they're really cute. All right, and with that, we will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And we will announce our final results from CastOut then. I'll also clip that, and you'll see it all the places. So we'll have the results of the traders. We'll see who the trader was. We'll see how it all worked out. We'll see if it was a really bad idea. You got to try things. You guys have all been one big beta test for me these past 3 seasons, and I appreciate it. And with that, everyone, we'll see you tomorrow, and bye-bye.